fan, and obviously, people know I'm a big basketball fan, and I get I get so tired of hearing that they want to put everything about Michael Jordan, LeBron James. They're not the best two players ever. We don't know who the best two players ever are. We don't know who. We can say 10. We all got our own list, but we can't definitively say, hey, this or that. Because what's your criteria? If your criteria is rings, with Russell, got argument as much is better than anybody. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar got argument as much as anybody. Jordan's got argument as much as anybody. Shaquille O'Neal got an argument as much as anybody. LeBron James is in that argument, but I don't put him in quite as high. But he got an argument. Magic Johnson got an argument as much as anybody. Larry Bird got much argument. Kobe, who don't put Kobe in my top 10, but he got an argument as much as anybody. So what is your argument? The thing is, if I go by a player's dominance, impact, peak, and dominance, well, much like before Barry Bonds shattered Hank Aaron and Babe Ruth's record for becoming the greatest home run hitter ever, he's the home run king. It's going to be Wilt Chamberlain. But I'm not going to just sit here and say that. Even though before my time, I got enough respect to know how dominant that man was. And he led the league in assists. I mean, come on now. A center doing what he did? Freak of nature. So, how do we get to this person being the only one or these two being the only ones? We don't. We let this crappy media dictate and tell you. Eye tests don't lie. Eye tests don't lie. I seen Magic Johnson change the course of basketball as much as I seen Steph Curry change the course of basketball. Before my time, Wilt Chamberlain dominated, changed the course as a center, as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did, and then Shaquille O'Neal comes along. I've seen great players. So how am I going to label it to this or that? I refuse to, because there's probably about 15 guys you can make a case for as being the GOAT. Probably. Depends on how you look at it. And why don't we have real arguments as opposed to trying to say this or that? Stop with all this. The Michael Jordan, LeBron James mess is hilarious for a lot of reasons. Two different eras, two different styles, two different approaches, different defenses, different techniques. But if you want me to be frank and honest, LeBron James don't stand a chance against no Michael Jordan for one couple of reasons. Jordan came in a tougher era. He had to play. He was a college guy coming in the NBA, having to adjust to not being a particularly good shooter to enhance his game. LeBron James came straight from high school, but it was a different era of basketball. And then he adapted to long range shooting and everything. And then, you know, however, I go by what I've seen. Eyeball test. And I'm always going to take the old school era because not only because it was more competitive and you had more teams, but you had more to go through. You know, if I look at basketball last 15 plus years, you had to like stack teams like hotcakes for butter and some syrup. Whereas back in the day, if you got one good hotcake and you had a good knife and a good fork and a good slurp of butter and some syrup, yeah, that's gonna stick to your ribs for a few hours. Whereas today you gotta get seconds, thirds, and fourths and just say, okay, we made it. There's no comparison. So it's not fair to compare, but if I was gonna go that. But I don't like how they just get it to single one or two or three. It's more than that. It's more complex than that. It's more complex. 'Cause Larry Bird, to me, is still better than LeBron James. You appreciate Larry Bird more and more as time goes on. You really do. And you see how great he truly was. You know, and I can make a lot of cases. Magic, I take Magic over LeBron. Magic was a game changer. Now, I might not be into that Hollywood mess and that hee hee ha ha and all that mess he be doing, but on the court, that brother was funky. And you wouldn't want to play with Showtime because that's still the best basketball I've ever seen by a team play. Golden State is close second that I've seen. And see, I'm not one of those people that get off your lawn and I don't adapt to what's happening because I've seen some good, but I stay consistent in this. I've seen great players emerge over time. I haven't seen a lot of great teams. There's a big difference. The only team that I've been impressed with the last 20 plus years was the San Antonio Spurs. And Tim Duncan is criminally underrated. Popovich is one of the greatest head coaches, and that was a system and a machine there. That was a machine. Unfadable. But anyway, it's just not fair to get into this who's better, who that. It's good to make a list. However, don't let it be a popularity contest to fit some agenda when they have to badger somebody from long ago. When we've seen things unfold that there's no way there's certain things. I know LeBron would have been great in any year, but I don't know how he would have ran with the way what Michael Jordan had to go through. Because I seen LeBron fall and frail with the way he flops. Michael Jordan was really getting knocked out by the Pistons. I don't know if he could have handled that pounding. I really don't know. I'm just saying. And you know, guys are bigger and stronger. That doesn't mean they fundamentally were incapped to doing what they did. Because as a Miami Heat fan, I remember how LeBron came up short against Dallas Mavericks and Dirk Nowitzki. So that's one of the reasons why I know he'd have had his problems with them 80s, 90s. But anyway, give me your thoughts and your takes. Tired of NBA always trying to sell an agenda because it's a disrespect to the old school. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another. And if you want to see guys through the times, look at them YouTube, look at them videos. And don't say get caught up because of the way it was with this and that. Because every era was competitive. It was just done differently. I'm out.